the area of ABC. All right, so here we're going to practice a little bit of distance formula and also perimeter area of a triangle. Okay, that is going to be part of the test. Okay, so let's pretty quickly draw our coordinate plane. Yeah. So let's plot this point. So A is located at 1, 1. That's where C is, which means that we have this triangle here. Okay. All right. So basic things to remember. If we want to perimeter, remember that the perimeter is the sum of the lanes of each of the segments of the figure. All right. Which means when you have a vertical or horizontal segments, it's easy because you just have to count how many steps there are between points. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So this measures 3. If we go from A to C, it's also easy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. But it's different when the segment is slant, just like this one, just like CB. Okay. So this is why, or this is when the distance formula is important. Okay. So what we do is the first thing we do in this case, if you want to find out the distance between C and B, is like you are going to break it down in horizontal and vertical, right? It's like, okay, if I cannot go diagonally, but I have to go up and then to the left, then I go something like this, all right? Yeah, I should go something like that. Then I stop when I am at the same height, and then I go to the left. You could also do left and up. It's the same idea. And you know what? You have the advantage of knowing. You go 3 to the left and 4 up, and then you are at C. Here's the same thing, 4 and 3. And then I take the square root of these two, right? Or the sum. Sorry, and I think that we have some glare here that probably won't allow you to see. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm gonna try to fix this lamp problem. All right. Hopefully it's gonna be better. All right. Yeah. Okay. So now we solve this, right? And this is 16 and 9, right? So 16 plus 9 is 25. So square root of 25, that's 5. So using this distance formula, right? Now I know that this is 5. And with that, I know that the perimeter is actually adding CA plus AB plus BC. Area is basically in triangles. You take this base and this is the height. So the area, well, you will also see exercises where you will have to do the same thing with rectangles or squares probably, and that's going to be much more simple because well, probably when you have to plot that, you will see that they just have vertical and horizontal distances, so you won't even have to use the distance formula. Okay, in that regard. Okay, so now I'm going to go over other exercise, and let's see, how about we do endpoints and midpoints. Those exercises are sometimes a little bit tricky, so yeah, let's go over one of these. Okay, so so all right, of the segment QR, R. Q is located at -5, 6. Okay. And R is located at 3, -2. You can either use the formula, or you can evident for you where it is. All right. So either one, no matter what strategy you use, it's gonna be okay. What I'm gonna do is saying method. Okay. So using the formula, so the midpoint is always this. Remember that it has coordinates, and let's say that coordinates are A and B. Okay. Just like this. Yeah. And the thing is, give me a second, please. So if I want to find this A and find B, this A and this B is actually this. I'm going to take the X values of each of the endpoints. So look at this. Endpoints. The endpoints have the other endpoint is X2, Y2. Hopefully, this is not confusing for you. What I am trying to say is that this is a given value on the x-axis, and this is another given value on the x-axis for the other point, and this is a given value on y, and this is another value, -5, and y1 would be 6, whereas x2 and y2 correspond to the second point, which is r. We take the x values of each point, we add them, and then we divide by 2. Right? And we do the same thing with the y values. That is, I take the y value of the first and the y value of the second point, and I add them and divide by 2. That's it. So what does that mean? I'm going to move this so we don't have to worry about the glare. Oh my goodness. All right. So here it is. Yeah. So I'm going to use all this, notation to see that the midpoint, the one between Q and R, is going to be X1 and X2. What is X1 and X2? Remember, I'm going to do it step by step so it's not confusing for you guys. And I'm thinking about those who are going to watch this in YouTube. All right. So this is X1 and Y1, and this is X2 and Y2. All right. Which means now I can do this here. X1 is -5 plus 30, and then you divide by 2. And the y value of the midpoint, which is B, is taking the y value is 6, and then you add -2 and divide by 2. And then that's it. So here it is. -5 plus 3 is -2. Divided by 2 is in the formula. All right. Now, how do you do this using the coordinate plane? Well, what you might want to do is...
It's 11 hours.
Sorry. What is if I just plot this or draw it? Okay. So here we are. Look. So I have this coordinate plane. And we do this, right? So we go -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, sorry. For matters of space, I'm going just to keep it like that, okay? This is 6, this is -5. This is where Q is. And now let's find 2, 3. It's like you go from this point to this point. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 steps or 8 units or 8 intervals, which means that you just have to walk 4 of them. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the x value of that midpoint will be right here, and then you do this if you go through. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's where the y value is. So now you will know that that point is located at -1. Natural question comes, and that is, what are the coordinates of the other endpoint, right? Just as simple as that. Computer, my battery's running out. So now we're going to do one of those exercises, okay? Let me check here my question bank. All right. So this is it. So the midpoint of PQ is given. M is -2, 2. Okay. Also, Q, all right? Q is located at 1, 4, all right? The other endpoint, which in this case it's P, okay? All right, let's go for it. So again, I'm gonna try to do it in both ways, all right? But let's first do it in using the coordinate plane, okay? So it's something like this. We are given M, which is located at -2, 2. Now the endpoint Q is located at 1, 2. Okay, sorry. So 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So somewhere over here, right? This is where Q is. So this is the endpoint on the right. This is M, that is the midpoint. So it seems like the segment goes that way, right? Let me just indicate these numbers, okay? So this is 1, 4. All right. Now M is located at, do it a little bit bigger so it is not confusing. So that's where it is. This is where M is at -2, 2. Now we will find right here. Okay, so now I'm going to draw that segment using the green color, and you will see what the intention is in here. Seems like that segment goes something like this, right? I don't know where it stops, but I know that it goes that way, and here. And then if you go to -2, you go 1, 2, and 3 spaces to the left. So it means that if you go 3 spaces to the left, and that is halfway through on the x-axis, then you start at 4, and then you start going down, and 1 and 2 is halfway through. So you have to go use the graphing method, where you see the logic of where the midpoint is. Midpoint is halfway through, so you just have to keep going as many steps or intervals you went at the beginning, and then you complete it, and that's all. Okay. Or if you want to use the formula, probably it's going to be a little bit more complex, but it doesn't mean that you cannot do it, because the algebraic method would go like this. If you know that the x value of the midpoint is, you take x1 and x2 and divide by 2. Let's see. You are given the x value of the midpoint. That is, you are not given the initial one, so you don't know what x1 is, but you are given x2, which is 1. And then you divide by 2 here, according to this. So it's just solving for x using this equation. So you multiply by 2 on both sides to cancel this, both sides. So x1 will be -5, right? And it matches, all right? And how do you find my? Same idea. The y value of the midpoint, well, actually, we do have it, right? What we don't have is one of the y values. But you use this formula again, right? I'm going to erase the graphing section, which we already know. Divided by 2, so you go multiply by 2, that's 4, and then 0. So that's how you do it using the algebra. On your practice test, things like giving names, you know, to points, to lines, to rays, things like that should not be a big problem. I hope that you can review that, and I will take personal questions, you know, individual ones to my email regarding that part of it. It's going to be a really short thing, a really simple and brief, you know, both practice test and test. So during the week, we will be practicing that. I will open a new session on Wednesday to see how it goes, and we will have our test on Friday. All right, this is what we have. All right, so make sure you prepare for this. Okay, guys. So now